concerning Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. Everyone knows his yachas and his relationship to Lubavitch. But I want to add a few things that I was involved in. I used to give a Shir Tanya in RJJ, Yeshiva RJJ, every week. And amongst the Talmidim there were a few brothers called Stern, that they lived on the same floor as Rabbi Moshe in the co-ops in Lower East Side. So they told me that once they asked him if they're allowed to cross the bridge, I don't know if it's the Brooklyn Bridge or the Williamsburg Bridge, on Shabbos. So the first thing Rabbi Moshe said to them was, where do you want to go? So they said to the Rebbe's Fabrengen. So on the spot he said, Avadi, you could go. Didn't even make a shayla out of it. He also gave them, once they were telling him that they had a yichidus, they were going to yichidus of the Rebbe, so he said, I just gave out a new sefer, so he gave him the sefer to give to the Rebbe, and he wrote a hakdosha in the sefer to the Rebbe, very nice hakdosha, and they told me over the lashon that it said there. One of the things I remember, it said, Yarech Mamlachte till Mashiach, very, very nice hakdosha, and he was, writing it with derech kavod to the Rebbe. Also, I remember once, there was a person who had a yeshiva shul in Crown Heights, and he was ready to sell it to Schwarze. And it was a time when the Rebbe started talking about the shchuna, that you shouldn't run away, and it's a hezek to the Yidden who live around it. So there was a dintera that was being called. They called him to a dintera. So they wanted Agudas Rabbanim to call him to dintera. So a few people went to speak to Rabbi Moshe to send him hazmonah, because he was the nosi of Agudas Rabbanim. So I remember I was one of the people there also. So we came to Rabbi Moshe and started telling him the problem. And they were saying that the area where the shul is, where he wants to sell to Schwarze, he didn't live around there. So I just butted in and I said to Rabbi Moshe that the people that didn't live around are not only Lubavitcher, the other types of people too. So he looks at me seriously and he says, wenn sie wohl gewähnt nor Lubavitcher is was? And if it would only be Lubavitcher is what? In other words, you're telling me that I should do something because not only Lubavitcher. And if it only be Lubavitcher, what? So we saw his varmkeit towards the union of Lubavitch.